All right, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans, sponsored by Lion Bolt Media. I'm your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, essentially gathering insight, inspiration, really drives and motivates these top producers above and beyond everybody else in what I'd like to consider a real estate titan. Now, our very special guest and feature titan today, I'm so excited, Clara Capano, right here from beautiful Colorado. So we're kindred spirits here, Clara, but yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
I love it. I can't wait for everybody just to get to know you deeper as a person and a professional, really what you do and what drives you. So there's so much jam-packed for today's episode. So let's just jump right into it. Clara, if you don't mind just telling everybody a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in California and relocated here to Colorado back in the mid-90s.
Wow.
And after college, I sort of fell into real estate. I really had no aspirations, but the path took me there. And I was fortunate enough to join forces on a team out of Boulder, Colorado. So we were doing a ton of business. We were the top team in Boulder.
Wow.
And just doing about 400 to 500 transactions a year. So, it was real estate by immersion.
Yes.
And I learned a ton all during into the late 90s, early 2000s. And then after about 6 years on the team, both my parents are educators, so somehow it must have trickled through me.
Love it.
And I decided I wanted to do more on the teaching side, the training side. So I was recruited and joined on with leadership, and I was a part of 4 different offices in the Denver metro area.
Wow.
My smallest office had about 50 agents, and then my largest office was just under 200.
Oh,
And I loved it. It was great because I got to work with brand new babies in the business all the way up to veterans. And what I really found a passion for, it was not on the selling of the real estate side. It was about running a business.
Wow.
And that's where I felt I could help so many agents grow, is putting their CEO hat on and just realizing that it's not just about selling, it's about, building a long-term business platform. So I spent about 10 years in leadership. And then in 2009, I was fortunate enough to go to a class called Ninja Selling. And I know many of your listeners are aware of Ninja Selling. And if they aren't, it's a 4-day class that really gives you an entire system about being more purposeful. So it was already in alignment with my vision of running a business.
Wow.
And then when I went there, it just had this human element to it. And it had this notion of it's a relationship business, and you're not there to sell, you're there to serve. So it completely transformed how I show up every day, and how I really looked at myself and how I wanted my business to go. So on day 4, I went up to the founder, Larry Kendall, and said, I have to be a part of this. And luckily he took me under his wing, and I've been with Ninja ever since. So I still do have a real estate license. I do a few transactions each year to keep me relevant, but my main time is spent on the coaching and the training side, traveling all around the country and into Canada, hopefully Mexico soon, and who knows where else destiny will take me. But again, just sharing the concepts with agents and helping them just be more purposeful, but also learning that they need to live too and be fully alive in everything they do.
Wow. Well, well said, Clara. I mean, there's so much into your path, into your story to really get you to where you are today. And obviously helping and touching so many real estate professionals, around the world is absolutely phenomenal. And big shout out to Larry. I mean, he's just an amazing man and a true titan, when it comes down to it. So for sure, I want to dive a little bit deeper into your coaching and giving everybody a little idea what that looks like. So if I'm not mistaken, Clarity is kind of a little bit about that. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that and kind of, just the process and what really drives you for the coaching?
Yeah. So the coaching that I do, really, I funnel it through the Ninja system because it's just the platform that I believe in.
Love it.
I came up with the tagline of got clarity. So it's CLARA-TY. And I actually stole it from one of my agents when I managed, because he used to always come up to me and be like, can I get some clarification? And I'd be like, and I'm like, oh, it's genius. So, it's all about, again, bringing people clarity, because what we know is that when people are confused, when they are overwhelmed, they don't go forward.
Hmm.
And so the idea is, let's get clarity in where we want our business to come from, how we're going to approach people, how we're going to add value to them and market with them to be able to get the end result that we want. So
Wow.
through my coaching, I think of myself as more of a strategist than just a coach.
Love it.
I can definitely sit there and cheerlead along with the best of them, but at the end of the day, we want to get results.
Hmm.
So it's really helping them take their goal and work backwards and start to identify who is their target audience, what are their greatest challenges, what is the information that they need, how can we position ourselves as a trusted advisor to educate them and inform them, and again, be a resource to them, not just when they're doing a transaction, but
Hmm.
in between the transactions as well.
Gosh, I love that. And again, having that guiding light and process, and as you said, not just a cheerleader, but strategizing and really treating it like a business and becoming that CEO, of really what's happening inside there, learning from the best people in the world who really understand this and being able to share that, it cuts a learning curve and it really accelerates. But
Mhm.
I know the best and brightest minds in real estate, they all work with coaches. They all have somebody who is a mentor or someone who's really helping them grow and scale their business, just shedding light on different ways to think about
Mhm.
things or to look at how we're running our personal lives with professionals. So I think there's huge basis of knowledge there. So Clara, what's the easiest way for people to get a hold of you and to really kind of learn more about your coaching and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. Well, I'm really easy to find. My email is just my name, Clara at ninjacoaching.com. They
Perfect.
can also visit my website, which is Clara at clarat.com. So again, CLARA dash TY.
Okay.
So Clara at clarity.com.
Love
And
it.
I'm all over social media, Facebook and everything. And I appreciate what you said so much about the importance of having a coach. I
Mhm.
even have a coach. I have a
Right.
coach and I have an accountability partner because even I fall down sometimes on the execution, get lost. So again, it's really important to just have that person in your corner. And it was interesting. I'm working with an agent, and she's a top agent in California, does an amazing job.
Hmm.
And we just started using some new tools and techniques. And she just texted me saying that she got the listing at the full fee,
Hmm.
and in using some of the ideas. So again, it's not just about numbers and accountability. We dialogue, we will help them with their skill sets
Hmm.
and really just get them solid as a business owner.
Wow. And again, everybody needs that level of perspective, and no matter where you're coming from. And like you said, even the best coaches, the best consultants, the best strategists, they have people that are guiding them as well. And I think that that's how that should be, learning from the best all the way through the board. Now, I do want to shift gears onto this because I think this is extremely important for everybody to know. I mean, obviously, you've accomplished so much, Clara, and you continue to do so, but really, what's your driving force? This is the why question. So what gets
Mhm.
you out of bed every morning to do what you do to the level you do it at, excited and just ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely. So, needless to say, family. My son is my big thing. So I think we all know that, but I want to go deeper than that, and I want to go
Sure.
on a different side.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in written affirmations,
Hmm.
and the affirmation that I write every day is, I motivate and inspire others to greatness daily.
Hmm.
And that's really my why.
Love
um,
that.
you know my background, I've stumbled and fall and fell, and it was being able to have people around me that would help pick me up and who believed in me. I want to be able to do that for others, and
Wow.
that's what does it. And it's really interesting. Right now I do a lot of training, so I'm on a
Hmm.
plane about 30 weeks out of the year.
Sure.
Needless to say, that's not happening right now. I was
Right.
talking with someone the other day, and I said, I'm just doing a lot of podcasts, I'm doing a lot of popping into sales meetings, and I said, if I didn't need money at all, I would keep doing it exactly the same way, because I just love to share and help people.
Wow.
And so being able to give them, and I'm very real. I am, again, there's not a lot of fluff to me.
Love
And
it.
so the strategies and things that I work with, they're real tactics.
Mm.
And to be able to help people, with real tools, how to manage distractions, how to
Mm.
communicate with their family, their significant others about their goals. I just want to be able to help people just, again, become fully alive and fully engaged in everything they're doing.
Hmm. And I think that obviously that's really telling everybody exactly where you're coming from. And first and foremost, your family, your son, right? And that's a huge why. And it's so beautiful that you mentioned that. But furthermore than just ourselves, our immediate families, you're talking about literally helping the industry become better. And in
Mhm.
turn, that helps the industry setting the standard higher. that helps the individual producers and their business and production, but also helps their families and their lives. So it's a very big why. And obviously I can feel the energy. And if you guys aren't watching this, at least hopefully you can hear Clara's voice coming through, because this is absolutely incredible. And again, it just tells me exactly why you're at where you're at and accomplish what you accomplished with those whys. Now, you had mentioned tactics and really applicable information. So this is a perfect segue into the next question. If you could look back at your career thus far, and pick or choose one or two things that you added to your business that took it from one level to the next, what advice out there would you give to the viewers or the listeners right now? Because everybody wants to learn from the Titans. Everybody wants to grow from other success. So what's that look like for you?
So I would say my secret weapon is in my routine.
Okay.
And on Sunday nights, I do a business planning meeting with myself.
Wow.
So I sit down for about 30 minutes and I reflect on last week, what worked, what didn't work, new clients, all of those wonderful things. I game plan for the upcoming week. What targets do I have? What projects do I need to work on? Who am I engaging with? And then I put my schedule together. So being able to be purposeful, again, thinking like a CEO and being strategic in my week before my week happens, it allows me to start looking for, could distractions come in? Where do I want my schedule? When am I having some downtime? When am I going to be with my son? And, just putting those in. So that's something that I learned very early on, was the idea that a schedule isn't a bad thing. And in some of my classes, when I teach about this, many of us got into this business to be independent contractors, and nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Right.
And the reality is, someone needs to tell us what to do.
For sure.
And so it really helps to know, because now everything has a place. So I really do have all the freedom that I need, because my life goes in my schedule as well. So I always have time to have a life, but I can start really to determine, again, before my week starts, what it's going to look like. So that has been, again, a game changer for me, and definitely one of my secret weapons. And then the other thing that I would really say is good follow-up.
Okay.
This is a relationship business, and treating it as such. And, there's a study that we talk about in our Ninja class where they interviewed just over 13,000 homeowners. And they asked them, have you heard from your agent again after closing? 74% of them said they had not.
Ouch. Right?
Only 6% said that they had heard from them on a consistent basis. And I don't think this is something that we do intentionally. And I'd say there's been times definitely in my career where I've lost track of people as well.
Sure.
But, when we think about it, we spend so much time with them during the transaction. And then afterwards, we can't just move on to the next. We need to make sure. So following up if they send us referrals and letting them know that not only are we gracious about the referral, but keep them in the loop of what's happening so that they know. Following up with them after closing to make sure they're okay, but then still following up. Birthdays, anniversaries, just to say hi, but you've got to make sure that you're staying connected and following up. And what I have found is that's helped me to build trust with people, because they know I'm going to be there for them regardless of what happens. We become closer. I know more about their families. They know more about my families. And then they start to connect you with other people. And it's amazing. When I first started doing my coaching program, back in 2009, it's amazing how right now I am either still doing business or getting business from some of those people I met 10 years ago. Just because I've stayed, in flow with them and stayed connected with them.
But when you're talking about that, Clara, I mean, it speaks volumes, obviously, about the way that you treat your structure of your life as well as your business. So going back to the original thought is, really structuring your day, scheduling that out 30 minutes on that Sunday for you, and to really, really just take hold of your upcoming week, and not just the business side, but the personal side. And I think that so many top producers and professionals, they forget that. They think it's, how many calls did I make? How many Popeyes did I do? How many handwritten notes did I do? All these different things. How many listing appointments did I go through? But that's all business, right? It's not just about that. It's about your health and your relationships, and your spirituality or religion, anything along those lines. You really got to block that in. Otherwise, it's going to get filled. So that's coming from a true pro. And then when you're talking about the follow-up, it seems like it should be commonplace, but it's not. It's not. It's such a big gap and a miss in so many professions, but in real estate in specific, the follow-up. And so I really love what you're saying and how you're saying it. And again, this is just a a taste, everybody, of what you could be experiencing with Clara and really getting a hold of her. So, I mean, this is just huge information so far, Clara. I absolutely love this. And this is really, really coming from a true pro who's walked the talk. And I think that that's important too, is, you know, there's so many people that are teaching, but there's not a lot of people who have actually been through the fire, who are really doing this on a daily basis and practitioners. So I love the fact that you bring that to the table. So I do want to shift gears on this one. And this actually ends up being a tricky part of the series and the interview. It ends up being the challenge question. So I lead into it with every Titan this way. We all struggle. We all have challenges, whether it's personal or professional. No one's exempt. But at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer if, you know, not so much what happened, but if we learn and grow and we share from these things, that's the real important message that comes across. And not to downplay pain or sorrow, but Clara, if you could share a challenge personally or professionally that you dealt with, that you overcame, you came stronger because of it, what's that look like for you?
You know, early on, and I'm not going to say sometimes I still do this, you know, really going into that idea of we need to work with the right people and we don't need to work with everyone.
Yes.
And just because they don't fit with me doesn't mean they're not going to have a great fit with someone. And I know early on it was take everybody I can work with. Anybody that says they want to coach, I'm going to work with them. And there just wasn't a good fit. And the idea is, and this is something that, you know, not only in the coaching, but also in Ninja, is the idea of, you know, we have a process and we need to find people that are going to be a good fit with us and our process. Right. So I think the challenge that I had is I didn't take enough time on the front end to interview, ask appropriate questions, and really, really fish out if they were going to be the right client for me and if I could be the right coach for them. Wow. So I think just setting the expectations and knowing that it's okay, you know, coming from a mindset of abundance. You know, I don't need 500 coaching clients. Right. And, you know, if I'm really looking for 30, let's find the 30 that are really going to be the best fit, because when I can show up as my best and they can show up as their best, we're going to be unstoppable together. Wow. And so I think, you know, and I see that with a lot of the clients, with buyers and sellers, you know, you got to know we don't need to take everyone. So just doing that, because when we bring on the wrong client, it's not really fun. And it's a lot of extra work, a lot of extra mental anguish, and it usually ends pretty bad. So just, you know, really looking for those things.
I think that that's beautiful advice. And again, sharing that perspective, and it's not easy to do, to air that stuff out in front of everybody, obviously, but I think there's so many professionals who feel exactly what you're talking about. They've brought on clients, right? Whether they're coaching or real estate clients, buyers or sellers, anything along those lines. And it wasn't the best fit. And it's just not a good thing to do. And to weigh, it's not to just turn down business for the sake of doing it, but there's the right way and the wrong way to do it. And I think that all of us should really be looking at that early process, as you mentioned, and say, hey, are we asking the right questions? Is this the right fit? Is it a good two-way street, right? Because I think that has a ripple effect, positive or negative. If it's the right client, you know this. I mean, referral business comes through and it's repeat business, and that echoes all the way through and through. But if it's a bad client, gosh, that's just not good. It's just not. So I love that you had mentioned that, Clara, because there's so many of us that are just, we want to serve and we want to grow and we want to help as many people as possible, but you can't help everybody, and you're not going to be the right fit for everybody. So that's so honest and so truthful. I'm glad that everybody who's watching or listening can really take that and absorb that in, because it's priceless all the way through and through. But Clara, so let's go into the next portion. And this is a little bit softer. This ends up being actually one of my favorite questions. It's the challenge. It's after the challenge question. It's the travel back in time. So with this, it's not to change anything you've gone through in your life, because what you have, positive or negative, made you who you are.
Absolutely.
But if you could go back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice or two, any age range, any time frame, what would you say to your younger self?
You know, it's hard to find just one thing, but I think, you know, believe in yourself. You know, that before I got into Ninja, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a coach and a trainer, but I just didn't think I had what it could take. Wow. You know, and it was working with someone like Larry and, you know, the team at Ninja that was able to help me, you know, bloom and grow, because I had somebody that I knew he would not have invested in me if I wasn't somebody worth being invested in. Wow, so I think, you know, listening to your gut, you know what you need to do and you know what you want to do. So I think, you know, doing that, pushing the limit a little bit more.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little bit of a rule follower. I'm
Mm.
not as much as I get older, but
Sure.
I would say, maybe the credo of ask for forgiveness and not permission, and doing that a little bit younger in my life. And
Great.
certainly make time to live. I was very serious as a kid. I mean, I'm still serious, but I tend to be much more silly now.
Right.
But I was very serious, and in my 20s, it was all about career and
Mm.
making my mark. And I think I missed out. I think I missed
Okay.
out on some fun along the
Uh,
way. So that's why I really take time to plan fun into my schedule now,
hmm.
because we only get one go around. And so
Right.
I think just don't take yourself so seriously. Come from the heart, be authentic,
Hmm.
and just go out there and give your best every day. Again, I think that idea of making sure that you're serving every day and just
Hmm.
doing it in your authentic way is the most beautiful thing.
Wow. I mean, all of those pieces are just beautiful gold nuggets when it comes out to it for people to really absorb into it. And we can't go back, right? We can't change that. However, we
Mhm.
can affect today. And what you just
Absolutely.
said, everybody's watching or listening, myself included, we can all follow those principles, right? And live a little bit. And it's just everybody's so focused on their careers. And as you said, we forget to enjoy the little things. And I forgot where I saw this quote the other day, but it said something, the little things end up being the big things,
Hmm.
and I
So
think that
true.
that's so many of us just forget about that. And then time flies by. So, believing in yourself further to another level, and then really just bringing it up, and it's okay. I think that there's so much that we all need to hear right now. And obviously it came straight from
Yes.
you, Clara. So this is perfect. I mean, anybody out there who's watching or listening, hopefully that affected you and you needed to hear this, and just know that move forward, keep pressing, and just take that action. So I think that's fantastic. So this is actually one of the secondary crowd pleasers. This next question in here, because everybody wants to learn the way the Titans learn, as far as books you're reading or have read that
Hmm.
you really enjoy, podcasts you're listening to, influencers, other coaches, things like that,
Sure.
people you're following on social media. Clara, how are you feeding your mind? How are you growing
Yeah.
intellectually?
I do at least an hour of personal development every day.
Love that.
A lot of times right now that I can't really go to my yoga studio or work out,
Hmm.
my morning routine includes a walk with my dog.
I
And
love
so
it.
I'm always listening to a podcast. So some of my favorite podcasts when it comes to the business side of things is
Hmm.
obviously I love the Ninja Selling podcast.
Oh yeah,
They're
for
doing a
sure.
great job with that one. I really love the Genius Network is great.
Oh, okay.
The Ziegler Show has some
Mm.
wonderful nuggets on it. The School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. I love
Mhm.
that he just interviews other entrepreneurs, so it's not all real estate, but
Oh,
it
very
does give
cool.
me again the idea of running a business.
Yeah.
And I do love how I built that, because I just
Mm.
again love learning from people that have built successful businesses and what they've done.
Sure.
So I do that. I also love to read,
Okay.
so I try to make sure I'm making time to read.
Mm.
I just over the last course of the last few months, Atomic Habits, James Clear is at the top of the
Great.
list. I know that's a big favorite of many people.
Yeah, for sure.
There's another great book, and I'm forgetting the author right now. It's called Willpower Doesn't Work.
Okay.
And it's the idea of, again, you've got to have solid habits and you've got to stay consistent with what you're doing.
Wow.
So I think those are great. I mentioned earlier on the things I would do differently, the law of authenticity.
Mm.
That came from a book called The Go Giver, written by Bob Berg.
Great
And
one.
I love that book. That's one that we give out to all of our students in Ninja, because it just talks about the law of value, the law of authenticity, the law of reciprocity. And
Mm.
it's a very easy book to read. So those are some of my favorites. And then also another one of my favorites is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Okay.
And he talks about small incremental change over time,
Mm.
and how it's basically, short-term pain, long-term gain. And the
Wow.
idea that if we just do those small things each and every day, they become habit, but they're the things that add up to greatness.
Mm.
And then as far as people that I follow
Yeah.
and other coaches and things, Robin Sharma, love Robin Sharma.
Okay.
Darren Hardy is a great one.
Mm.
Brendan Burchard, um, Mel Robbins, all of those are, at the top of the list for me.
Classic. And again, I love that you're taking it from so many different process perspectives, audio, and then looking at it from physical books, and then again, other coaches or inspirational, motivational, or just thought process through entrepreneurialism. I love that. And again, I'll have links in the comments down below so everybody can feed their minds and follow along the same way that you're doing. But Clara, I do want to mention, because you are an author yourself, so I would love for you to share with the audience your book and just a little bit about that too.
Yeah. So my first book came out a couple years ago, and it is called Find Your Focus,
Okay.
52 Weeks of Clarity.
Love it.
And it started because I write a blog every week.
Hmm.
And so what I did is I took 52 of my favorite blogs and put them together. And the idea is you read the blog at the beginning of the week, and then you have a little journal entry of how you're going to implement that each week. And then it goes
Fantastic.
through over the course of a year. So we're toying with doing a volume 2 because it's been a couple of years. Um,
Okay.
and then I have a book. I am collaborating with some amazing women from around the globe.
Wonderful.
And we are all going to be co authors. And the book is called Women Who Boss Up.
Hmm.
And, a big special part in my heart is the mompreneur, the working mom,
Sure.
and the challenges that they face. So we're just talking about the lessons that we've learned, how we can be strong and how as women we can, strengthen each other and support each other. So that book is set to come out on August 14th. And
Okay.
then my third book, which hopefully will come out next year, is going to be called Unleashed. And it's a
Ah,
guidebook
love it.
for the mompreneur. So I'm working on that one as well.
Oh my gosh, just so much takeaways and knowledge in here. So Clara, if you wouldn't mind, when the book is ready, the second book and the third book, if you
Hmm.
could just send me an email, I would love to share it out with the Titan Nation so everybody
Thank
can,
you.
check it out on Amazon and really just get involved and really support you that way. So I would love that if that's all right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Um,
Yes, I would be happy to.
for sure. We always want to just provide as much knowledge to everybody who's watching or listening. And again, from Featured Titans is absolutely phenomenal. So we just got to support each other, which I think is fantastic. So, but Clara, this has just been absolutely incredible. I mean, chock full of so many takeaways and actionable items and just really, really, really applicable information that people can really grow and scale their business. And there's so much more to it. So again, I'll have all your contact information down
Perfect.
below so that everybody can, connect with you and really engage with your content deeper and kind of go from there. But we have one more question to wrap
Mhm.
everything else up. And that ends up being a quote or mantra that sums you up as a professional. What's that look like for you?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is that life happens at the level of movement, not words.
Hmm.
And it's just the idea of you got to act. You got to get up and you got to take action. And it's not that you have to do everything every day, but every day do something that is moving you forward and connecting you with the people you need to surround yourself with.
Wow, beautiful words. Absolutely incredible, Clara. And this has been an absolute honor to have you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
You
you.
are an official real estate titan, so I have to dub
Yay.
that in. That is official. But yeah, thanks so much. It's just been an honor.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. And everybody, thank you out there, as always, for your love and support, your time and attention. If you like what we're doing here at the Real Estate Titans, don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do at this point. I do have to give our sponsor a quick shout out, Linebolt Media. If you are in real estate and you're looking to grow and scale your business digitally, really leveraging as much exposure to your local markets and grow and scale consistent amounts of revenue and high value clients, check out lineboltmedia.com. We are live here at Real Estate Titans every Tuesday and Friday afternoon. A different Titan, a different location. We'll catch everybody in the next live episode of Real Estate Titans. Take care. See you, Clara.
Bye.